Yo, 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 what's going on? This is the NRW, where nerds rule the world. It's your boy, Kuyapi, aka Patrick Michael Strange, and I'm here with the homies once again to bring peace to y'all with Peacemaker. And of course, I can't do it without Heather. Don't hurt him! Heather Hurt from New Release Wednesday. What's good, Heather?
Oh, nothing. Just living my peaceful life over here.
There we go. There we go. I love it. And of course, the man who's going to level us up as always, the blurred dad, my blurred brother, Glenn Lawrence. What's good, Glenn?
What is going on, people? Let's keep the peace. Let's make some peace over here.
All right. But in order to do that, we must travel the chode less traveled on our way to Monkey Dory. Let's break down episode 3, 4, and 5.
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
All right. I'm throwing it to Miss Heather Hurt. Let's go.
Okay, the chode less travel, that still does not roll off my tongue at all. So at the end of number 3, we kind of have this weird situation where we learn what the butterflies were. And in episode 4, we have a lot of coming to Jesus moments. First off, we have we kind of finally get to understand a little bit more of what's going on. But the big thing that happens, of course, is Chris learns about what happened with his father. The primary point of the episode is Chris coming to terms not only with what he could be doing for Waller, what he could, the Black Ops part of this, but the fact that it's affecting his family. But not only that, how his family affected him. We have a great scene where. What is it? He talks to his neighbor about how the memed one where he's not Batman because Batman has a rogues gallery. He's like, you know what? One of the best parts, you know what? Batman doesn't kill people, and that's what his problem is. I disagree personally, but hey, he's not wrong. What do y'all think? Do you think Batman should kill people?
Shouldn't. Heroes shouldn't kill.
You know what's funny is from the Batman the animated series and reading the comic books and everything, Batman was always like very much against killing. But if you have seen any Batman movie in any of the genre, Batman has a very high body count in like every movie. So there's a total disconnect from like the comic character, because it's like people are always like Batman doesn't kill. I'm like, every movie I've seen, Batman has at least 10 bodies in every movie.
Oh, he's got incidentals. We'll call them
incidentals, but it's like they definitely don't play up the fact that Batman doesn't kill in the movies at all. So it's always weird when you hear that piece of like lore in like something like this or whatever, like, yeah, Batman doesn't kill people, but you're like, wait a minute, every movie, even the Ben Affleck movie and the recent ones that this universe is based on, because it's Suicide Squad, it's the same universe, like Batman definitely kills in this universe. So it's always weird to hear that. But yes, I do agree, it was cool hearing that scene and hear the old neighbor and Peacemaker go at it. Is just it's just gold, man.
Mm-hmm. I get you. Well, so that leads. So what that was is that Peacemaker, of course, was heading over to his house to pick up some stuff with Vigilante, who we finally get to see their relationship blossom a little bit. They besties, and even though Chris doesn't want to admit to it, but what they find out, it's Vigilante is just going at him about how his dad's racist and trash and was abusive and blah blah blah. And of course, Chris Peacemaker does not want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear any of it. So he's like, take me to the jail. I'm going to go get my dad out. I'm going to go do all this, blah, blah, blah. And while he's there, two things that we kind of have a split moment where Chris he comes to that reality of, oh shit, my dad hates me. He might actually be as abusive as everyone's saying. And there's this great moment with Leota where she's like, we read your file. We know exactly the shit that your dad put you through, including your brother, which leads us to blah, 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 future, foreshadowing. And then on the other side, we have Leota kind of suggesting to Vigilante that that Chris might be better without his father, the White Dragon, in the picture. I'm trying to find the great quote of right now. There's this amazing quote where where Vigilante sits down at the table with his dad and talks about how he loves all of the great things that Black people have done and brought into our lives, all the wonderful history that they've made. And he's like, who's next? In a group of Aryan shitheads. And he calls them some great names, a la Deadpool. And I know a lot of people have made that reference. I think he actually kind of does it a little better. Sorry, Ryan Reynolds. But it's one of those where that's kind of what happens. We have everything leading up to Chris coming to terms with the fact that he was abused as a child, and he has a little bit of a breakdown at the end. And that's season 4 in a nutshell. Thoughts? Kuya P.
You mean episode 4? I was like, hold up, season 4. I thought that particular scene, the scene with Vigilante with the Aryans, amazeballs. I love that scene. I can watch that scene over and over again. That just was my heart right there. Like everything I've wanted to say if I'm ever in a room with a bunch of Aryans and I could just speak freely how I feel and then kick their asses. And I loved it. That was a great episode. Good shit. Peacemaker's killing it. Just good character building, furthering on what we had from the big reveal of the aliens. Now they're on this mission to stop the butterflies, and then to cap it off with that scene was just fantastic. It was kind of a filler episode to me, but oh my God, was it amazing again. And to cap it off with that scene just was, again, like a scene I can watch over and over again. I don't have to have any other kind of premise, it was amazing. So that's it for me on that one.
I really like this episode. The thing that I thought was cool was on the ride where Peacemaker and Vigilante are talking, and he's like, "Yeah, totally cool how you let them just cut half of my pinky off.
Oh,
that was totally
that
cool,
was good.
bro."
Yeah.
He's like, "I kind of feel like you're a little bit upset about it," but that was a kind of a cool bonding moment,
Yeah.
Between them, where they really kind of get their thing. The other part that I thought was really interesting about this was we get to see Vigilante is not just someone who puts on a suit and is a badass. He's like, he's just a badass naturally. And he's like, I'm gonna go in there. No, I don't need a costume and a bat and all this other stuff. I can go in there and know I'm going to hold my own in prison against a lot of big people who want to kill me. So I think it also kind of solidified Vigilante as like a real badass, which I thought was really, really interesting. It also showed a little bit about Leota and how she's very much Amanda Waller's daughter, as she manipulates Vigilante to go in there to prison in the first place. While Chris is in there, or Peacemaker is in there talking to his dad, we get the name for the episode, basically, where Peacemaker calls himself a chode. He's like a good chode, though.
That's right.
And then his dad is like, "What? You come in here like comparing yourself to a chode? Like, you are a loser, son. I should have killed you when I had the chance," which I think is great foreshadowing for possibly where the season is going down the end. And then the cool thing about I'll just jump to the end, basically, so we could get into the next episode too, where Judo Master basically wakes up because he had been incapacitated at the end of the last episode by none other than Mr. Economos, who's like, "Yeah, I'm a badass," and everybody's like, "Yeah," and he's getting hype and everything for that. And then Judo Master wakes up as he's being held captive and beats the shit out of Economos. And it's great. And then the episode, of course, ends with Leota shooting Judo Master in the chest there. So that was that was kind of wild. That was interesting. I really love that was right. Judo Master beat up Peacemaker at the end after he woke up.
He almost, Peacemaster would have won, right? He would have won.
Peacemaster, we get to see that Peacemaster is a pretty good, or Peacemaker, sorry, Peacemaster.
I think I said that too. I think you're fine.
Well, if his dad loved him and he loved his dad, it would be Peacemaster.
There you go. No, but what it actually ends on, that really interesting little story that we're still waiting to get closure on, how his brother dying. We don't know what happened. He just kind of always sees this kid kind of flop on the ground, but it does give us kind of this is basically 80s. It's a James Gunn movie in a nutshell. But it's why it really shows why I'm going to say Peacemaster now all the time. It's just going to happen. Peacemaker. It's why Chris is stuck in the 80s, is because something happened, something absolutely traumatic happened, and we only got a small snippet of it right there at the end. And I cannot wait to get the end of that story, or the completion of that story.
Yeah. And I think that's a great way to jump into episode 5, right? So since we're doing 4 and 5 right now, and episode 5 was really interesting because we get to hold on, wait, where does episode 5 start? Kuya P, where does episode 5 start?
They're in the car.
They're in the car driving, right?
The next one.
That's right.
In the opening of 5? In the opening of 5, we're at Peacemaker's at home with Eagly, and he's sitting on the front.
Oh, that's right.
Flies around.
Yes, episode 5 is great because it opens up and we see that Peacemaker. We saw it in episode 4. We didn't talk about this, but we'll talk about it now. That Peacemaker actually captured one of the butterflies and he has it in his home. And him, Eagly, and the butterfly are like hanging out. And we get to see in this episode, maybe a little bit later in it, where the butterfly actually makes a peace symbol on the jar, indicating that the butterfly is trying to communicate with Peacemaker, which I thought was really, really interesting because he's like, what's the butterfly doing with the little honey thing? And it's like, what's he doing? Is he trying to like get out? And then we see he makes a little peace sign, and it's like, oh, he's like trying to communicate. So I thought that was kind of cool. Want to see where that goes, how it leads, or what it leads into. So that was interesting. And in this episode is where they get together and they're like, all right, well, we got to figure out what we're doing. Got to figure out where the butterflies are getting their nutrients from, basically their food from. And they figure out it's a packaging plant. So they go to take out the packaging plant, or the packaging plant for the honey for the butterflies. The one thing that we did leave out is that there was a cliffhanger at the end of episode 4, which was Myrn showing that he was a butterfly.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the one thing we left out. And on this episode, so now with that information, we know that they're going on this mission and we don't know really what's going on. We get to see the dynamic between Peacemaker and Economos, and how he thinks he's like an asshole and Vigilante doesn't like him or whatever. And we get to see how that all kind of flips throughout the episode. So I don't know if anybody wanted to interject. I was just going to go into the kind of the nuts and bolts of the episode where they get to the packaging plant and fucking all hell breaks loose.
I only want to interject with one moment where it's kind of that is one of the greatest moments of this episode is where Vigilante just goes, he's looking straight at Chris. He's like, well, some people, I don't have emotions like some people, but and I'm sitting here and I'm going, he sees me.
That was
right. Cool. That's funny. That is hilarious. Oh, and then we also get the very cool scene where Economos shows his PowerPoint skills when they're planning the raid. And
Butterfly up the butt. Butterfly up the butt.
And he's making the butterfly. He's like, do butterflies really go in the butt? He's like, I don't know. I just made the PowerPoint. And then we get to see Peacemaker very angry with Economos. He's like, you could have framed anybody. You could have framed and then he just goes through all these names. You could have framed Bill Cosby. You could have framed Jay Leno. You could have framed Jimmy Kimmel. Or he's going off. And I just thought the interplay between all these characters, you can tell there's a lot of heart in this series. It just seems like there's so much like that was thought about in this, and all the characters really bring that forward. Like you can kind of tell when someone's mailing it in for like a paycheck, and you can tell when it's like, hey, this is fun. I'm having fun doing this, and I'm having fun with my coworkers and my co-stars. And I feel like that's what's happening here. And it's just it's damn good. It's a damn good time.
Mm-hmm. It is. Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. It's all a game. It seems like it's a big game. You lead that, you see that into the warehouse, like you were saying. It just keeps going. They're all having just a lot of fun. It looks like.
Yeah. So with that fun, of course, we get the action sequence, which is always the most fun, where Peacemaker gets his X-ray vision helmet and he goes in. And I just thought it was so cool how he's there with Adebayo, Leota Adebayo. And she's like, all right, he's like, look out for my signal. And she's like, what's the signal? He's like, you'll know. And then he puts on the x-ray vision. He sees the butterfly. He just shoots the person like immediately while she's like introducing herself and saying hello. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, that was my signal. Like, shut up. I thought that was great. And then they just lay waste to the entire bottling facility because everybody there is a butterfly. So they go and wipe them out. There was the awesome scene where Vigilante says, oh, there's a chainsaw. I definitely want to kill somebody with a chainsaw. And sadly, he does not get to do that. You know, throughout the fight, it looks like things aren't going well because Charlie the gorilla, who had escaped in an earlier episode, is in the packaging plant and comes out of nowhere. Were you guys surprised when the gorilla like made the appearance where they were like, oh shit? And then it's like, what? Oh shit. Like, what are they fighting? And then it's like, oh, it's a gorilla.
I was more surprised with the missile. What was it? The missile grenade that led us to that moment. I like that moment the most.
Right, where he's like, why did you make that? It's like, or like, what is that? It's like, oh yeah, it's a grenade attached to a warhead. And he's like, why would you do that? It's like, well, grenade only kills 2 people. It's like, well, how many does that kill? I don't know. I just invented it today. I love how he said invented when it's just like duct tape and a grenade. Oh, good times.
I agree with all those points. I'm with you on that, Glenn. That was hilarious. But going back to the gorilla, I'm such a nerd that I forgot that the gorilla was introduced earlier or whatever, and foreshadowed into for now, that my nerdness was like, oh shit, are we getting Gorilla Grodd for half a second?
Everyone thought that. I think everyone literally thought
am I Flash Central City? Are we getting that? And nah, but because they killed him, ain't no way. You ain't gonna waste a good character like Gorilla Grodd on this. So
especially when the gorilla at the end said, what did he like raised his hands and was like, oh, die, or when the gorilla spoke, I was like, yeah, is it Gorilla Grodd? And I was like,
yeah.
To be fair, he could be one of the many gorillas.
True.
The entire city. He doesn't have to be Grodd. He could have been an intelligent gorilla. He just could have been an intelligent gorilla.
Right. But we won't know. But there is a payoff because somebody does get to kill someone with the chainsaw, and it's Economos who keeps coming through and saving the day in the awesomest of ways, and he chainsaws the gorilla right through the heart. At which point, Vigilante is like super jealous about it because he's like, I kind of wanted that kill, but he kind of stole it. It kind of feels personal. And Peacemaker's like, shut up, dude. Like you're being a little bitch. But it's kind of funny because it's just like Economos, who we all think, kind of agree with Peacemaker. Like, he's whack. He's like a little bitch, but he keeps getting himself into situations where he does some badass shit, like to take out Judo Master, being him, who's just like a numbers computer guy, and to take out a big gorilla with a chainsaw. He keeps doing badass stuff. So I think that all brings them together after that whole ordeal. They're riding home and they're like taking pictures because they're just like, we're really, really cool. So yeah, I really love this entire episode. It's my favorite thing to watch literally on television right now. I was looking the other day I wanted to replay it because I just wanted to hear the intro song. It really gets me up. It's like,
we got to learn that dance, y'all.
I actually tweeted at, I know I mean absolutely nothing to any human on the planet, but I tweeted at James Gunn. So James Gunn, if you ever watch this, please turn that into a jazzercise video. We deserve the jazzercise video of that opening theme. We do.
I like this.
We're definitely doing that dance when we're all together again. That has to be our reunion dance.
All right.
That has to be.
I think every time I walk into a room, I'm going to say, I'm putting on, like if I go into work, I'm putting on my work hat. I'm putting on my NRW hat.
Yes.
My comedy hat.
I'm with it.
So I thought great episode. That's my final word on it. Loved it. Loved everything about it. I can't get enough of all of these characters. I hope they do many more shows. And I hope this is the genesis of the new DC universe, because this is great. It has heart. You can start from these characters and build out the actual DC universe and have people liking the interconnectedness of it. From where they are now, it would be very difficult, but with this heart, I think you could really make a great run at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because it always comes back to DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
No, I would give Gunn. It doesn't have to, guys. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to, but it does. It does.
Creepy, what is your opinion first? You go first.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were about to go, and I didn't want to cut you off.
No. I've talked enough.
I'm a proponent for Gunn having the keys. Like, give Gunn the keys. Because I, to me personally, I'm gonna be honest. You know, when we've done these DC versus Marvel convos, and we've talked about the Marvel movies and the DC films, to me, yeah, I know there's a whole proponent for the Snyderverse. I could give two shits about the Snyderverse, to be honest. You know, I love what Gunn's doing. If you can give me the Gunniverse, I'll take the Gunniverse any day. So, that's what's about. I loved it. I don't want to ruin the ending because I think we've been avoiding spoilers pretty good. I don't know. Were we trying to avoid spoilers?
No, we've done a couple, but that final ending was, we say it. Why not? Because
I'm worried for Leota. They better not kill Leota. I will be mad. I will be so upset. I don't think they will, but I'll be mad.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. It sounds like, Kuya P, that you really want to taste it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Heather, what about you? Do you really want to taste it?
So a whole bunch of men with lesbian penises in this conversation.
But I really want to. Do you really want to taste it? I'm walking around singing that. People are looking at me like I'm crazy.
My camera's having a field day with me moving around with all the laughter in this. I cannot. I was very. I think most people. I was very spectacles about this, and it's just so much fun. Like, you can't leave an episode. The soundtrack's great. The characters are great. Even the things that make it that are like not so great, they are greatly outweighed by everything that you love about the series. And is it a perfect show? Is it not? Is it definitely not for children? Absolutely not. But it's a wonderful show, and it's really great to look forward to something again. Even just from a streaming perspective, it's been really, really fun to look forward to a show like this again. And I cannot wait. And Leota better be okay. I personal opinions, I think Myrn is going to be like, dude, you need to not say a thing. I think that's going to be the end of the conversation. And he's like, I'm here to protect humans, so you need to stop.
Because he is allowing them to kill his people, right? Like, I wouldn't be cool with that. So there has to be some kind of give there.
Well, there was that moment too where that the other guy, whoever it was, comes to his hotel room and is like, all that killing that we did in like the Congo or wherever the conflict zone was, and he's like, well, I'm not like that anymore. Given the indication that even though I'm a butterfly, like I'm a better person than I used to be. So that was pretty cool foreshadowing. Yeah. So,
and you
I don't know. I
found
found the word.
Guys, I did make sure to put the very clearly understood mermaid emoji in our chat.
You know what? I did think about that for a second, and you now brought it back. That when I was watching it, like, I should do that to fuck with people, and half thinking about you guys, but then it escapes me. But you just literally brought that back to me, Heather, and now you've just done it. So, like, yeah, like, I love it. I love it.
It means good. It means bad. It means maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best now. I love it.
It's like aloha.
So good.
All right. So we have to, how we came out of this.
That's the way to end off this episode.
Mermaid
emoji.
Mermaid emoji. Love it.
All right. Oh, so good.
Can they reach out to you, Heather?
What?
How can they reach out to you? Let's close it up.
Yeah. Oh, right. We're on the internets now, right? You can follow me at Nerd is a Heather on Twitter. The exact opposite of Heather is a Nerd on Instagram and TikTok. You can also reach out to me or follow any of my stuffs on the NRWs because I do comic books. So if you ever have any questions about Peacemaker or Vigilante, or you want to know more about what stories to get, like the brand new Peacemaker comic that just released, you can always message me. I'm available. Definitely talk to me comics. Let's do it.
I love it. Hit up Heather, and of course the Blur Dad himself, and the new father who's leveling us up. Tell us about what they can do with you.
Yeah, man. Levelupcomedy.com, Glenn Lawrence Comedy. Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG, and then Glenn Levels Up on Twitter. Very excited about what we got going on here with Peacemaker, and can't wait to hear what y'all think. So, holler at me.
I love it. Reach out to my peoples, y'all. For me, it's the Legend P on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. And of course, you want to talk about Philippine X content, I can give you all that with my Show Pal Show. So check that out. And of course, here at the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Until next time, we will give peace, drink honey, and give you mermaid emojis because we love y'all. We're out of here. Until next time, I'm about to get very good and very evil at something that is terrible and wishes it could be very good and very evil. All right, y'all. Talk about Royal Rumble because fuck Vince McMahon. We're out of here.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? I was like, what is going on?
The real wrestling fans know what's good because we're recording this on the day of Royal Rumble.
Vince,
anyway,
get it.
we're out of here.
All right,
guys.
Out.
So